Hello, my name is Marc Shoffman. I'm the editor of Estate Agents Today, and this is the first of a new Estate Agents Today feature called My First Property Sale. The idea is for us to speak to estate agents, you guys are readers, to discuss the first commission you earned and how you felt and how the market's changed since then. Our first victim, or our first interviewee, is Simon Hancott, who is from EweMove Leighton Buzzard. Do you want to introduce yourself, Simon? Tell us a bit about you, what you do.
Yes, Mark. I've been running a EweMove franchise now for just hit our 5-year anniversary. So prior to doing that, actually, I'm not from an estate agent background at all. I'm from a corporate world. I used to sell in-flight entertainment to airlines, bizarrely enough. So very much come from a marketing background. Saw a really good opportunity to join the EweMove group on the back of the way that they're using marketing to change the estate agency industry, and cut my teeth at it. And it's something we've not looked back at. And 5 years on, got a great sizable business, and it's been really good. And looking forward to the next 5 years. And
tell us about when was your first sale?
So the first sale we did, so I remember we launched, it was the May bank holiday weekend, 2017. And me and my business partner launched the business, and we thought great way to really learn Leighton Buzzard, because I'd lived here for 10 years, but hadn't spent a lot of time on the individual streets, was to go out and leaflet every street ourselves. So that's what we did. So we launched the business with a £995 fixed fee introductory offer for our first 10 listings, with a time cap of the first sort of 2 months. Went out and leaflet the streets, and it was very exciting times as we were, our phones were pinging in our pockets as people were responding to the leaflets, booking valuations and various other things. So the first listing we got certainly didn't make us rich, that's for sure. At £995, it probably didn't even cover our costs, but it got us through the door. And I think it was a fair exchange of value to let us be the training ground of that poor vendor on that first house. So we got ourselves in there. You did all the photographs, got it on the market, and it was the sort of tail end of quite a good market in 2017. So as I recall, we got viewings very quickly. I think the property was under offer at a price that worked for the owner within probably a 4 to 6 week period. We were delighted, and we thought that's the way that the housing market worked at all times until the next 3 years came, and it became a very different market. So it's certainly positive to have that type of market back now.
Whereabouts was the sale?
The sale was on a little road called Leadon Furlong, just on the outskirts of Leighton Buzzard. So very much a 3-bed semi. It's exactly what you want as your first house. Real brilliant middle of the market stock. Really matches the EweMove brand. And I remember doing all of the viewings, the valuation, everything myself. And I remember selling it to a couple who were first-time buyers. And I remember that was quite a nice experience, because connecting, somebody with their very first house and the excitement. I remember this couple, I'd been talking to them for quite a bit of time, because by that time, within that 6-week period, we'd actually got a few more listings. I think we got about 10 listings in our first 6 weeks at the 995 offer. So it was delightful to connect them, and it was a very happy moment for them, really.
And I mean, were you nervous doing that for the first time? I guess having come from selling in-flight entertainment, where it's not necessarily face-to-face, and the negotiation may not be as intense.
Yeah, I think I totally and utterly misjudged what the difference is in working in a B2B environment to working in a B2C environment, because consumers certainly are a completely different animal. I guess far more unpredictable than in a B2B environment, where there's a certain, structure around acceptable etiquette in the way that people speak to each other. In a consumer environment, the consumer seems to make their choice themselves how they want to communicate and deal with people. So that was probably the biggest shock that I had, is suddenly going into this environment where we were dealing with a spectrum of people, from the delightful to deal with to the absolutely appalling to deal with, and everything in between.
Who are the appalling ones?
Oh, well, there's always a few people that perhaps their decision-making process and various other things are not strictly well thought out some of the time, and can obviously get under your fingernails sometimes when they go through various processes. So unfortunately, in our world, luckily it's probably only 1 in 10 people that will come across, but people are challenging some of the time. But the vast majority of people are great, and some people are just utterly delightful.
And how did it feel seeing it go through your first sale? Like, did it feel challenging? Were you nervous about it going all the way to the end and completing?
I think we were probably extremely naive about what that next part of the process was about, because as is the way when you're starting a business, people tend to focus very much on the positive side of it and perhaps don't talk about the challenges that the business faced. So it was probably that first 3 to 4 months where, you know, we just invested a load of money into the business and we were without salaries for quite a period of time, and we were just, everything was counting down to that first fee hitting the bank account. And we knew that first fee, and certainly the first 10 fees, were never going to pay us a wage, that's for sure, and end that challenge. But we knew that once we hit listing number 11 and we went straight to a full fee of 1% plus VAT in our area, we knew that once that stuff started to filter through, that it would be really interesting. So those first few fees hitting, I'll be very honest, didn't really excite us much, I guess, on the basis that it you know, the bank account was still going backwards based on money coming in. But certainly when that first full fee hit, we were very lucky, because the first full fee that hit was a nice £700,000 house. So it was a £10,000 deposit of money in the account, which was just in time. And, you know, it was probably our 5th month of trading. And from that month onwards, things started to really, really look up as the listings carried on and at a full fee.
So when did you move from fixed fees to commission?
So we strictly said we were only going to do the first 10, and we advertised and said it's the first 10 listings at 995. And I think we were quite adamant that we had to make that transition quickly in order not to be construed as a online estate agent, which one of the challenges with the EweMove brand is that it can get confused for the complete opposite of what it actually is, which is an extremely customer focused and premium estate agent brand that we try and do things above and beyond what a traditional estate agent does, using and blending technology with customer service. But often at the beginning it can get misconstrued as a cheap and cheerful online estate agent. So we wanted to make sure that very quickly that was clear that it was an introductory offer and that our full fee was, and we even printed on all of the promotional elements what the full fee was, and that you were getting a good deal in those first 10, and you need to be quick to grab that.
Okay, and how's the market changed since you started? Is it easier or harder to get sales and earn those commissions?
So for the first 6 months, it was relatively easy to sell properties as we come in the tail end of 2017. It then became challenging for probably the next 3 years until the general election result recently. And then the market's totally different. So, you know, we very much got used to structuring the business in a way of very much managing seller expectation around, you know, your property's probably going to get, I sit here today and I can barely believe that I was saying to people, well, if your property gets 1 viewing a week and over 12 weeks gets 12 viewings, it's probably going to get the offer you need. And within a 12 to 14 week period, hopefully you'll get a sale at what you need. And now, within 2 hours, 12 people have inquired about a property. And, it's so polar opposite to those 3 years that it's hard to remember that market of what it was. But we did tick along quite nicely for those 3 years. And we did have a good strategy, and we were just consistent, and properties just dropped in and on a consistent basis over those 3 years. It did take 12 to 14 weeks to go under offer, and it took so a property took 6 months from start to finish to get the cash in. Today it's quicker to get the offer, but their legal process is probably longer. So it probably still takes us 6 months to get the cash into the business, but it's a lot quicker to sell the property. Probably not easier, because you've got, with today's market brings different challenges, trying to deal with the sheer volume of people that want to buy a property in a customer service environment to make sure everybody leaves the experience with our brand feeling really positive is also a new challenge. So,
Simon Hancott, thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you very much.